And welcome back to Never a Doubt Podcast. I am Justin.
And I'm Tanner.
And we have a very special episode today. With us is our first ever guest.
This is unlike any other episode that you have seen thus far. Our very first guest on the pod. It's a big deal, and it's a big guest.
From LaGrange, Illinois. You know him from Fox Sports and BTN. Please, everybody, help us welcome Connor Onion! Yeah!
Oh, thanks, guys. Some of your listeners and viewers might know me as Lord.
Yeah, there he is. Look at that. I love that. Was ready to go.
He had that queued up.
That was brilliant.
So, questions for Connor Onion, I'll take them like this. Questions for Lord Onion.
Lord Onion, yeah.
I'll take them like this.
Yeah, they're in two separate categories. We'll get to the vampire stuff later. But it's not vampire stuff.
Yeah, well, kinda.
Yeah, because it's garlic, not onion.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassing myself all over again.
We can chuck onions at vampires. It's
Yeah,
okay.
for sure. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I'm sure you're a very busy man, so we appreciate it.
Of course. No, love what you guys are doing. The friends and family back at home in LaGrange have enjoyed the bits you guys are doing. So
Yes.
Well, that leads us to the first question. Like, how did you come across that? Like, for our listeners who may not know, we did a bit about, I saw you calling the Arizona State Texas Tech football game, and I sent a photo to him, and I was like, this guy's name is Connor Onion. I was like, that's kind of funny, huh? And then we talked about it on the pod, and then you ended up seeing the clip that we put out, and now here we are. But I'm curious how you came across it.
So on the Explore tab on Instagram,
Oh, no.
I don't know why my algorithm was sending me bits about myself. But your guys' Instagram reel came up on my Instagram scroll. I was just doom scrolling one night, and there I was like, "Oh no, this is about me."
Oh no!
Wait, are there other people who have done bits about you?
The Levitard Show did one a few years ago when I was working for ESPN at the time, and they did like 10 minutes with my last name. I mean, they did a whole bit about how I needed to do a game with Bill Raftery because his catchphrase is onions. And then I don't know if my bosses saw that, but coincidentally enough, a few months later, I did a game with Bill Raftery.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
I had a thought too. I was like, you know how like they say like get people like give you your flowers. I was like, maybe you could do a segment like I'm giving you your onion.
Sounds pungent, but yeah,
It's a good thing.
I think you're onto something there.
First of all, that's horrifying to that just come up on your. I feel like I need to sue Instagram. There's a lawsuit somewhere. That ain't right. But we're glad you saw it. And also, I stand by a good wedding hashtag being becoming onion. That's on the table for you to use.
We're workshopping that. First, I would have to buy a ring and get engaged and then start the wedding planning process. But it's funny because I have a hashtag for my wedding before I have an engagement ring for my girlfriend.
You're doing things backwards. That's how unhelpful men are. They're like, well, I came up with a hashtag, so you book the venue and the caterer.
And everything else.
I'll print the little tiny napkins with our hashtag on it.
Also, the other one that he said made her an onion. I thought the whole time that he was saying mater, like tomato.
Like Larry
because
the
I was
Cable
like,
Guy?
oh, she's the tomato, you're the onion. You guys go together. Because I'm dumb.
This is so this is perfect. Recently somebody told me, I told them I'm from Nebraska. I do stand up. So at the show when I got off stage, the host of the show goes, "Justin, I didn't know you're from Nebraska. With your voice," he's like, "you don't sound dumb enough." And I was like, whoa. And he goes, "It's fine. I'm from Iowa." So I was like, all right.
But the rivalry goes deep. Even in stand-up. We got Iowa fans talking trash at stand-up shows.
Yeah. He had a good set that night, and I wasn't
Do you wear
happy
your
about
Nebraska
it.
stuff on stage during your stand-up?
Sometimes. I used to really rock it, but then it like got in the way of it got distracting after a while. But sometimes I'll wear Huskers.
It became too much
Because
of your
Iowa fans were
identity.
throwing throwing items at you on stage? Like, is that why?
God, I hope that would be amazing. I get a pie to the face because I have a Husker shirt on.
But anyway, enough about us.
Yeah,
Let's
enough
talk
about us.
you. We did some research on you. Obviously, we know that you started off calling games. Was that at Ball State?
Yeah, that's right in my undergrad.
Ball State. We don't have much history with Ball State other than I think we played you in football one time and they almost beat us in Lincoln.
Yeah, it was like a double overtime game. I think Bo Rude had to get a pick six to save us. And I was at that game, and I took a friend for the first time ever, and he was like, "That was awesome." I was like, "No, that was terrible. We shouldn't have been that close." He had a fun time, though.
We do that to Big Ten teams. We always lose by 3 to Big Ten teams. We
Right.
lose by, some way in heartbreaking fashion to feel like we're relevant for a week. But then, yeah, inevitably that happens.
Well, give us a little rundown of like how that all started. We did see an interview. You talked about your roommate kind of pushed you into it. How did that kind of all go down?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to be I wanted to be a psychologist at one point. I wanted to go to business school at one point. Wanted to be a walk-on of the basketball team at one point. I was just kind of throwing things at the wall as a freshman in college / senior in high school on what I wanted to do. But I don't know, kind of kicking it like we are now, just talking about random stuff. My roommate was like, "I think you would you got that spontaneous element to your personality that I feel like you could do play-by-play, and
Right.
You obviously love sports." So yeah, he pushed me into it. I tried out for the student station at Ball State, and then became my career. I mean, kind of I guess, lucky random roommating.
Is he still a good friend of yours?
He is. Yeah, I was in his wedding 2 years ago, and he's kind of in the business, kind of out of it. I always tell people it was actually a drone pilot that got me into play-by-play.
Yes.
He flies the drones for College game day. So if you see like the drones flying through the College Football Hall of Fame before conference championship games, that's my roommate that pushed me into doing play-by-play.
Awesome.
Incredible.
Well, thank God for him from saving you from doing business. Thank God.
Was there an element of like, because just when I'm listening to you talk, like you kind of remind me of like Bob Costas, just the way that you talk. So I'm like, was that part of the discussion of like just listening to you sound like you could be calling games?
Yeah, I think that was some of it. I mean, I think, I tell me if this is TMI, but I hit puberty at like 12. So
not at all. Keep going.
I was going to say on this podcast, I feel like that's welcomed, that bit of information. But I had a deep voice from like 13 years old on. Mm-hmm. So, I thought I wanted to be a D1 athlete, and my dreams were crushed pretty quickly when I started sending out the huddle tape of me being a ninth man on my 500 basketball team. So I had to find that next thing, and it wasn't really until my sophomore year when my drone flying roommate pushed me into it. So yeah, I'll take the Bob Costas thing, because I'll take like a tenth of the career that Bob Costas has had.
Well, you're on your way, I think.
Yeah, me too.
You're a young rising star in the industry. I mean, you're already all over the place. We used to see you on college football, college basketball, MLB. We saw you stepped in for the Bulls, which leads us to our next question. Are the Bulls like your number one team? Being from the Chicago area, like, is that a bigger dream of yours to like work with the Bulls more, or like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, the running joke in my family, because I'm a 90s kid. I was born in 95. The running joke was that my mom and dad didn't know my gender when I was born because their eyes were glued to the Jordan Bulls. So,
I mean, who can blame them? That was a magical time.
We know the 90s.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the teams that got me into being a sports fan. I wasn't really old enough to appreciate 96, 97, 98, the second three-peat that I was alive for. So it was, really the Derrick Rose Bowls those were the teams that really, really got me into it. I loved Eddie Curry and Tyson Chandler in that group, which is not as memorable or at least as joyous for Bulls fans as the Derrick Rose era. But yeah, I mean, to call games, I filled in for Adam Amin, who's amazing. He's also my coworker at Fox doing the NFL and MLB, and he's incredible. To sit in his chair and to do it for my hometown team was, that was chills when I got the call to do that, and then got to sit in that chair in the United Center.
It's incredible. And we share they still do Sirius, right?
Oh, their intro song. Yeah.
So we share that in common. I feel like we have like some very random commonalities here.
This is just like doing a Bulls game, being on with you guys.
People keep saying that to us.
They keep calling him Jordan. I'm Pippen.
Yeah.
I'm like, well,
I get called Michael Jordan.
I don't see it.
Yeah. Who's Rod? You need a third person to be Rodman.
We do.
Maybe it's you.
Yeah, come on over. But the similarities between Memorial and the Bulls, you called at Memorial Stadium the record-setting volleyball game. I want to hear about that, and then what you think of just Memorial Stadium in general, because I know you've called football games there as well.
Yeah. No, the Alan Parsons project, leading the team out, was something that had me like shaking with adrenaline just because of how cool it was. And I've been fortunate with Big Ten Network that volleyball is kind of how I got my start there. So to start there in 2020/2021, kind of that COVID spring when things were weird and there were no fans, and to just kind of see that progress into a match a few years later where there are 92,003 people there, was really, really cool to see. And I still think the coolest thing that I've done in my career. And I've been, again, really fortunate to do a lot of cool things with Major League Baseball, and like you guys mentioned with the Bulls, but I think that's gonna, that's gonna be at the top of the list for a while. It'll be hard to knock that off the top spot of the podium.
Do you feel like working, kind of starting out when it was that COVID year, like not having fans, did you feel like that made it easier for you? Like were you able to prepare, like take some of the pressure off? You could like settle in and like kind of get started, with maybe, no people in the stands. Did that help at all?
I don't know, because the ratings were probably even better.
Right.
So more people were probably watching those first few matches. Not that it takes much to get Husker fans to watch Nebraska volleyball.
Right.
Amen.
That's nationwide, nationwide entertainment. I remember those first few Nebraska matches that I did, and even doing Nebraska football and basketball after that. At first, it did feel like pressure because you all know your team so well. Right. And I was just getting started with Big Ten Network and covering the conference. I feel like there was like a little extra edge in my preparation of like, I've got to do right by Nebraska fans because they're going to call me on my stuff if I don't know it. And it's more, I look at it more as like, that's my responsibility anyway now. But there was some pressure in a good way to perform for Nebraska fans just because of how knowledgeable you all are. I think that's a really good quality to have in a fan base that I still feel when I do games now.
I love that answer. We are a proud fan base. We take things way almost too seriously sometimes, but what would be the point if we didn't,
No, I totally agree. It honestly makes it more fun. Like if you're going to get a little crap online every once in a while, fine. Like that's part of it. But the Nebraska nice thing is real too. Anytime I go to Lincoln, it's always good walking around O Street and the market, and people want to come up and talk about the team, which you don't get in every.
Right. You just cut out for a second. It kind of like threw me off for a second.
Oh yeah, we thought there was a moment we thought you were gone. I was like, oh no.
You froze for a second. I was like, oh no.
No, the interview's over.
What we miss?
Just the very ending, the last word you said, I think it froze, and then I was no. I looked at him, I was like, we're done. What is that like? I feel like, well, hopefully after this interview, you're like the number one announcer for Husker fans. But like, is that a thing that's real? Like, do you often see, like, do people hate on reporters or like broadcasters? Like, do you see that often, or is that something that you're concerned about?
I mean, sometimes you get a nasty DM or two, or somebody hits you in your mentions on Twitter. But some of it, like, I've had to teach myself what's legitimate feedback and what's somebody that's mad about their team not playing well and wanting to take it out on you.
Right. Absolutely. I bet that's 99% of it. There's no way someone's like, I have some serious feedback for you. And you're like, yeah, this is good, random DM I got. It's probably all scary in there. I'd be like, I'm staying away from this.
Yeah, exactly. But you guys doing comedy, like being up on a stage solo doing stand up, you get it. Like being in the arena, you're gonna bomb sometimes.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that because as a stand up, I've bombed 7 billion times in every way possible. And are you done working? Do you get like done with a game and think like, that was tough, had a bad set, anything equivalent like that? Because you're on the air for what, like 3 to 4 hours at a time.
Right. There are a couple of things that are top of mind on that. So this past Sunday, I did a gymnastics meet on Fox. It was Jordan Childs was the big star for UCLA, gold medalist. And, I do 1 to 3 gymnastics meets a year. It's always a big catch up and refresher on my study for gymnastics, on the terminology, the skills, all that. And there was a moment late in the meet on Sunday where I messed up the name of a skill. Mm-hmm. And gymnastics fans are very proud of getting those things right. You got to be on your Chenkos, your double layouts, all that stuff. Oh, but I misnamed a skill, and we went to commercial, and I was like, oh no. The diehards are going to think I'm a fraud, even though I know I messed up.
Right.
But there wasn't that. That's also what I've learned is like, this is sports. Like you said, you're on air 3 to 4 hours live. You're going to mess up.
Yeah.
Right. But I think the first year of my career, I probably would have like sat in my hotel room and stewed about it. That was more of like a 1 to 2 minutes during a commercial break. I was like, all right, let's get refocused and we'll be fine. You know what a Yurchenko is. You've studied it. So
right.
It's fine.
You're saying that to yourself in the mirror. You know this move. Connor, we're back on in 5. All right. Sorry.
Yeah, I had to pull out my phone and give myself a little pep talk.
Is there any like, how do you prepare to be on air for 3 or 4 hours? I'm sure it like comes naturally to you now, more or way more naturally, but like what is that preparation like? Because I can't, like, we've all seen those kind of behind the scenes shots where like the broadcasters have like all these papers and like stats and names everywhere. It's like, how do you even organize that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I explain this to people, they're like, wow, that must be such an easy, fun job. That's what I do on my weekends. I watch sports. But that's in its essence, that is a lot of what it is. It's, if I'm doing a Nebraska game, for example, I'm probably watching the last 2 to 3 games that they've played, on top of, when I had Nebraska in football this year, I had been following the team the whole year anyway. I watched the Cincinnati game at Arrowhead just because I'm a sports fan, and had it on in my hotel room. But that hardcore deep dive study is, watch a couple of the games. You're studying the trends of, kind of who's hot, who's not. For basketball, it's you go to the team's pregame practice or shoot around, which I'm sure you guys watching the games have heard. I talked to Fred Hoiberg today at shoot around. So we get some insight that way on, what they might try to be doing strategically. So, it's a football game is a 40-hour prep week. Basketball game is probably 10 to 15 hours. So yeah, it's like the 9 to 5 job. It's just, content and studying things that I've loved watching as a hobby a lot of my life, which is fun to call a job.
And the part that you said in there about, being able to talk to coaches, I know we were so curious about what is that like when you work with coaches, and do you have like any coaches that you've loved like working with the most, and do you have any experiences with a coach that were like, that just like didn't go well in your mind, or you're like, that I'm a little bit, and obviously you don't have to say names if you don't want to, but
yeah, you want the good or the bad part first?
Give us the bad part.
Yeah, let's start with the worst of it.
Okay. I'm not going to name a name on this one because this is an active coach. Mm-hmm. But it was my first time covering that team. Mm-hmm. And typically, I will name a name here because it is on the positive end. Fred Hoiberg is amazing at remembering your name and remembering, I'm sure Seamus, his PR person, is giving him information maybe about the announcers that are coming, but like he knew where I had called minor league baseball coming up. He was asking me questions about getting my start at Big Ten Network. So that was the positive side. And usually when you're covering a coach for the first time, you'll small talk and get to know him a little bit. Right. But with this coach, I said, "Hey, coach, how you doing? I'm Connor Runyon. Haven't covered you before. How's your season going?" Something like that. And the coach just goes, "Ask your effing questions."
Oh, no.
And I was like, and then just started spitballing whatever was top of mind. And it ended up being fine. But I was staggered a little bit by that directness. But I'd say 95% of the time, the coach understands, like, this is a good partnership. You need information to tell a good story on TV, and we like good PR. So it's usually in the coach's best interest to cooperate and be cordial, which it is most of the time.
Yeah, having worked in sports myself, I used to work in sports. I worked for USC for a period of time. I was an intern at Nebraska when I went to school there. So like getting around coaches is something I had to get used to too. And especially when you're younger, it's so intimidating. You're like, you see how much pressure is on them, like every day. And so when you're like going in and be like, "Hey coach, can I like bother you for like 15 minutes to ask you questions?" It's, they don't want to do it. And rarely are they ever like super excited. They're just like, yeah, like they're just like, I know I got to do this, but they don't really want to. And it just makes you like the fact that like Hoiberg was like, made it easy on you. It's just like, you wish that every coach could do that, but you also understand that like they're going through a lot of pressure, especially if their season's not going well.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing with Fred too, is I did my first couple of Nebraska basketball games when things were not going well. It was before K-State Tominaga did what he did late in the year a few years ago, and it looked like he might lose his job. I remember he took that pay cut and changed a lot of what he was doing, and he had every reason to be like, "No, I don't have time for TV people. I need to save the ship here." Right. But it was the total opposite. Like, could not have been more gracious even when things were bad.
That's amazing. And he's got the Bulls connection. You must be a real fan of Fred.
Yeah. No, I wish that had gone different. Obviously, I'm sure he did too. But right. I was a fan of his at Iowa State, and then obviously having him here in Chicago, and cool to be up close and personal a couple times and get to cover his Husker teams. So easy. We're supposed to be unbiased, but like they are. When I'm not covering the games, they are an easy team to get behind. Not that I cheer for anybody, but you can definitely get behind people.
But if you had to,
I got it.
They're in the discussion.
That's right.
And that's all us Husker fans want to hear.
Fred is a very easy person to cheer for, so it's good to see him having the year that they're having.
Well, I know we don't have a whole lot of time
Yeah.
left, so if there's anything that you really want to dive into, I know we got some good ones still on here.
This is a technical question. Maybe this is a wardrobe question. So you got to wear a suit every time you're on the air. Do you own like 12,000 suits, or are you like Oregon mixing and matching? Like, what's the? Because for me, that's. If I ever dream about being an announcer, I'm stressing most about the suits I got to keep clean. Yeah. What's your suit game like?
And traveling with suits.
Yeah, traveling with suits.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't want the job. I got to take these suits, get someone else to call it.
I max out at a polo. That was part of my negotiation.
Yeah.
That's funny you say the Oregon thing, because I was just there last week for basketball, and somebody in their athletic department was nice enough to give me the football stadium tour and
nice.
take me through the stadium or the equipment room too. And I was very close to saying, can I talk to your stylist, your Nike stylist, and figure out how you keep things, have such variety in what you guys are wearing all the time. I've been traveling around all winter with 2 suits.
That's good.
Yeah. I keep my light blue and my dark blue, and I don't mix in my gray or my black suit very much. So I have 4, but I mostly have 2 in my rotation.
That feels good. Yeah, the blue and the black. I love Oregon gave you a tour. They're probably just like, look at all the clothes we have. They just have the most stuff. You're like, yeah, cool. Yeah, there's a lot.
I got 2 suits.
Yeah, I saw like 1,700 pairs of shoes as I walked through.
Yeah.
Does Fox like help you? Like, do they take care of your suits? Or are they like, hey, we're gonna prep all this stuff for you while you're getting ready for the game. We're gonna steam your suits.
Leave your suits there. We can take care of your suits. Hi, you have a suit assistant. I'm here to take care of the suits.
You're giving me a lot of ideas of things to ask for. So
yes,
put it on the rider.
And because you're on the air for so long, do they give you food while you're up there? I mean, you can't be running out of the booth to go get a hot dog. Do they bring you stuff up? Like if you're at Memorial, do they?
Yeah,
say,
usually we have a runner. I did ask for a Runza this year. We didn't. The closest we got was a fan in a Runza hat in the crowd.
You never got one?
You didn't get it?
I didn't get one.
Oh my God. And you asked for it. I'm going to call someone to yell at them. It'll be someone not even involved. He asked for a Runza and never got it.
You have to have a Runza.
You have to have a Runza.
And next time, first stop.
You gotta.
Yeah, when you have it, we want to bring you back on so we can review it.
Yeah, and don't let the hat throw you off. The hat looks a little gross. It's like a Runza zoomed in. It looks weird.
Yeah.
It looks
It's too circular.
Yeah.
It's not circular like that. Like the beef isn't round like this.
This is the most Nebraska show. So it's more of a we're describing how the beef lays in the bun. Wow. What an opportunity we have. Thank you for your time. We're like, so if you look at it straight on.
Okay, we only have 6 minutes.
Because we don't pay for the premium Zoom.
So nobody
should, by the way.
Yeah, they get enough.
They get enough.
They're too big.
They should push it up to an hour, not 40 minutes. What a weird time for a meeting. We're doing important business.
So let's rapid fire a few things real quick. We wanted to know, what's your favorite place you ever called a game, favorite event you've called?
It's got to be the stadium match.
That's huge.
Huge.
Love that.
Love
We're
that.
going to reemphasize that. What's the most intense event you ever called? Is it the same? Like high stakes?
Because we knew Nebraska was going to win that one.
Yeah, we did.
So I don't know about the stakes exactly. I'd say Colorado Baylor last year. Shadur Sanders threw Hail Mary at the end of regulation. So I know this is a Nebraska podcast.
Yeah, we won't count that one. We're editing that out. That's not on our show.
We don't talk about the Buffs.
We just cut it clean out of the interview. Oh, yeah, sorry. Actually, it's over now. It actually ended.
All right, I've been censored. See ya.
No, that's a good one, though, a Hail Mary. And you have such a good voice for it, too. Like, I feel like that's such a huge thing with announce. Like, obviously, like, the moment of the excitement, and you got it locked down. So
Right.
That's huge. And the good ones make it look easy. And that's what you're doing. You're making it look easy.
Appreciate you.
Okay, I think I have like 2 more I want to get through real fast. Who is your biggest inspiration, like in broadcasting? Like the pinnacle for you?
Oh my gosh, I could give you like 15 people. I'll go with the first one ever, and that was Pat Hughes. That kind of piqued my interest. The radio voice of the Chicago Cubs was first broadcaster I ever listened and kind of took notice to.
Mine was Keith Jackson. I always loved Keith Jackson. He was the best.
A big one. Yeah.
Right. And then I wanted to ask if you had any pregame rituals. Is there anything you do before you call games to help you get locked in?
Yeah, are you a coffee guy, or how does that work? Because you don't want to get too jacked up. Or maybe you do.
I'm a chai tea guy, actually. So there's like a little pump of caffeine, but it's good on the vocal cords.
Amen.
Usually before games, I would get the chai tea with the tea bag and get a couple shots of honey, but Starbucks went away from that. So now I'm a latte guy. That's what gets me hyped.
Yeah.
And then my last question, and then if there's anything you want to ask, I wanted to ask, what's your dream event? Like, what is the one thing you want to call before it's all said and done?
Yeah, Super Bowl or World Series.
Yes. You're gonna do it. We're gonna say it here.
You're gonna
first.
take over
That
for
will
Joe
happen.
Buck one day. I can see it.
Yes, and we said it here first. I never doubt, and we'll all remember this.
And we'll play it when you're calling the World Series.
Yes.
Thanks, fellas. Appreciate that.
Anytime. Thank you, dude. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
We know how busy you are. Everyone should go check out Connor's Instagram, which we'll link here. You post a lot of cool behind the scenes stuff, and you make really interesting content just surrounding the games and stuff you call. So we'll link that. People should follow you. And if
you inspired me, I'm gonna do a Runza shape of the beef analysis next time I'm in Lincoln.
I swear, I will cry laughing if we see you analyzing a Runza.
I love that. Yeah, don't be afraid to get in there.
Deconstruct that sucker.
I appreciate you having me on. This was fun.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. Guys, give it up for Connor.
Yes. What an interview. Best ever, I would say. Get in the comments and say this was the best one he's ever done.